Good evening and welcome to the March edition of Curriculum Connection. I'm Medford's Curriculum Director, Laura Lundy. Tonight we'll take a closer look at the state's new Educator Effectiveness System and how it will affect our teachers and principals. Our world has always been obsessed with measurement. We weigh ourselves, take our temperature, and measure our blood pressure in order to assess our overall health. However, these measures would be useless without a standard. For example, without knowing that a normal temperature for a human is 98.6, taking your temperature would mean nothing. Teacher and principal evaluation is the same way. Therefore, the state is now trying to create a standard for evaluating educators. Starting next year, in 2014-15, educators will be evaluated on two main parts, 50% educator practice and 50% student outcomes. These two areas come together to give each educator a score on a continuum. Medford, along with other school districts in the state, have been piloting the new system this year with 3 teachers and 3 principals. High school math pilot teacher Brad Borkart says the new system allows teachers to get more involved with their evaluation.
We're a little more responsible as teachers to be aware of how we're evaluated and to make sure we're hitting certain marks in each domain. It's not just the tool that the teacher or the administrator is sitting there and we're not knowing about it. It's on the computer, we can look it up. We need to make sure we're demonstrating things in those categories, and it's a much more back and forth because it is online and be like a working document that both the administrator and the teacher is looking at.
The standard measurement used to evaluate teacher practice will assess 4 domains of teaching: planning and preparation, instruction, the classroom environment, and professional responsibilities. 5th grade and pilot teacher Dan Nelson says that one of the advantages of having the new system is that it comes with videos that shows teachers what evaluators are looking for in 2 of the 4 domains.
There's support. There's more support maybe now, instead of trying to, what is the principal really looking for? Now you have a better understanding of that with the videos, with some of the conferences that we've gone to. So that's good.
Pilot principal Al Leonard agrees.
Advantages to schools is that you will see a system-wide change that moves teachers towards improving their instruction. Teachscape, what it does is it takes good teaching and it breaks it right down into the individual components, and it helps people understand what good teaching is by what they do in terms of what it sounds like if they're a good teacher, and what it looks like in their classroom if they're using best practice. That's a good way.
1st grade and pilot teacher Lindsay Reed says one advantage that Medford teachers have over other districts is that the state chose an evaluation tool that the Medford teachers have been using for years.
It was so reassuring to see how similar the new evaluation system is to the one that is currently in place in Medford right now. We are using the framework already, the Charlotte Danielson framework, so the teachers already have experience with that and exposure to that. They know the 4 domains. They've been evaluated on those the past few years. So moving forward with the new evaluation system should be an easy transition for the teachers.
In addition to being evaluated on practice, teachers and principals will be based on student outcomes. Due to the complexity of collecting state student scores, the majority of this 50% will be made up of how well teachers and principals meet their student or school learning outcomes. Pilot principal Dan Miller explains.
The biggest difference is the goal setting that they're doing. And each teacher has to set up 2 student learning goals and a professional growth goal. So they'll set that up. So we have to have a conversation. First they fill out their information. We have a conversation about what they complete, and then they go ahead and start working on it. That then will carry over into the middle of the year, where we have a follow-up conversation about how it's going, what they're doing, how it's working. And then in the end of the year, there's a final conference where we visit, talk that over, and then get an evaluation on that. So that whole process is completely new. Haven't done that in the past.
One of the major hurdles that administrators will need to overcome is the added amount of time required by the new system. In order to be certified to evaluate teachers, administrators are required to participate in a 40-hour training and pass a high-stakes assessment.
One of the changes in terms of a challenge that we're going to see with this, the implementation of educator effectiveness, is what I talked about earlier in terms of the changes that have evolved with teacher evaluation over time. And the difference is the amount of time that supervisors are going to be required to spend on evaluation. Teachscape is good. I think it gives people good, honest feedback, and it draws a very objective picture of what they do in their classroom and how their practices align with best practice. That's all good. However, giving people that feedback means you have to be in their classroom a significant amount of time, and that's going to be one of the challenges.
One misconception of the new Educator Effectiveness System is that it is synonymous with teacher pay. At this time, the state of Wisconsin is recommending that the evaluation system not be connected with teacher or principal compensation, but rather be used as a tool to help educators improve their practice. Medford is following that recommendation and has decided not to tie pay to a teacher or principal's score. Most people would agree that taking one's temperature is an easy and reliable test of health. However, measuring the effectiveness of a teacher or principal is more complex and challenging. With the advent of the new state Educator Effectiveness System, both time and training will be required by teachers and principals to make it successful. For Curriculum Connection, I'm Laura Lundy.